Trying to get a driver's license?
Your Honor, I'm here by special appearance.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. Go ahead.
I don't understand the nature of the case that's here in front of me. I don't understand.
So you don't understand the nature of the case that's here in front of you. You don't understand that you got to have a driver's license to operate a motor vehicle on the roads of the state of Michigan. You don't understand any of that stuff.
Your Honor, I don't understand the jurisdiction. I don't understand how I wound up here.
I got a similar case, and this gentleman provided me with a motion the other day, and I'm reading the motion, and I'm reading the case law that he says is supporting the fact that the court doesn't have jurisdiction, that the state can't make you have a driver's license and things like that. And when you read the case law that he gives me, and it's probably going to be, if you did your own motion, it'd probably be the same case law that you would try to cite. It says exactly the opposite of what he is trying to purport.
Okay, so what is the jurisdiction of the court?
Go ahead.
What is the jurisdiction of the court, Your Honor?
You know, if you're saying that the court doesn't have jurisdiction, are you trying to say basic? Let's just talk a little real simple, basic stuff. Are you trying to say that you can just run red lights, you can just speed, you can just do what you want to do on the roads without any repercussions at all?
Your Honor, is this a court of record? I'm sorry, is this a...
Today, we're stepping back into the courtroom of Judge Perkins. And if you've watched even one sovereign citizen hearing before, you already know how this script usually goes. Someone discovers a handful of legal buzzwords online, of record, and suddenly believes they've unlocked a cheat code to the entire justice. Here's the thing. Courts are not Reddit threads. They're governed by statutes, rules of procedure, and constitutional authority that have been tested for decades, sometimes centuries. What you're about to see isn't just a disagreement. It's a collision between internet mythology and codified law in the state of attention to how the judge handles this. He doesn't mock. He doesn't explode. He explains. And more importantly, he forces the defendant to confront the logical consequences of his argument. Because when someone claims the court has no jurisdiction, they're not just challenging a ticket. They're challenging the structure of state authority itself.
As far as I checked, it was, Mr. Glenn.
Yes, it is, sir.
Okay, so you guys follow a common law.
We follow the state, we follow the statute of the state of Michigan.
You follow a common law, Your Honor.
The 14th Amendment gives the state the right to enforce the police powers of the state. The right of that is to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens. Part of that right comes, part of that constitutional right says that the state has the authority to regulate the people that are driving on the roads of the state of Michigan, and to say that to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens.
The Sixth Amendment allows me to know the nature of what I'm being charged with, and that's.
I'm gonna tell you. SP 126786553, failure to display a valid operator's license, punishment.
Your Honor, I'm challenging the jurisdiction. I'm challenging.
Go ahead.
I'm challenging his jurisdiction, Your Honor. I don't understand the nature of the charge.
The judge starts with a simple, grounded question. Are you trying to get a driver's license? Instead of answering directly, I don't understand jurisdiction. This is a classic sovereign tactic. Move away from the concrete violation and into abstract constitutional. Driving isn't abstract. It's regulated activity. States regulate roads under what's called their police powers, authority recognized under the U.S. Constitution, including through the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution. That authority includes licensing someone says, I don't understand jurisdiction. What they often mean is I don't accept the premise. And courts don't require your philosophical acceptance. They require legal argument grounded in actual law. That's the gap.
Have the prosecutor put jurisdiction on the record for, if you could, Your Honor. Just let me know so that since we're in court of record.
Well, if I have a signed complaint here, which I have a signed complaint, then that automatically puts the jurisdiction on the record.
All right, I didn't get a copy of that, and if you have a copy, I'm going to need that to be signed under penalty of perjury, Your Honor. If it's an accusation against. And yeah, I would just, if one of the things I request is, if I can just get that accusation with sworn penalty of perjury, that would be great. That's
He got it. We'll give it to him again.
I appreciate it.
We're gonna give it to him again. And don't get me wrong. I respect the fact that you that you want to fight this, but I would say from my experience, you're going about it all the wrong way. And I just ask you that basic question, you don't think that the police or that the state or that the ordinances have a right to stop people from speeding and running traffic stops? Because basically, with your logic that you're trying to purport, then nobody can get stopped for anything.
Your Honor, no one was hurt. There is no injured party, Your Honor. And so upon my look of the law, and this is a court of record, and no one was hurt. And so we're following the common law. I understand that a lot of people don't understand how to function here, but since
The commentary may be, but the underlying reality is accurate. These arguments have been attempted repeatedly and consistently rejected. Courts across the country have addressed claims that driver's licenses are optional, that traffic codes don't apply absent an injured party, or that common law overrides fail because statutes are law. In Michigan, the legislature has enacted motor vehicle codes. District courts are granted jurisdiction over court rule and statute. That's not theoretical. That's black-letter dangerous part isn't just being wrong. It's being confidently wrong in a courtroom. Because every time someone insists the system doesn't apply to them, the system simply responds by applying it.
your clerk,
Pardon me?
can I file my pleadings with your clerk of court? Your clerk of court.
You gotta file the pleadings as the court rules say you're supposed to file the pleadings. Now, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it like the court rules say. And you gotta go, the court rules are all online on how you file the pleadings.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You gotta serve one to the city attorney. You can serve the other one on the court through my clerk and the email address that she's gonna send you when she sends you those tickets. But if we're gonna play ball, sir, you're gonna have to know the rules of the game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Because you're
Can
gonna give me your motion. You're gonna give me your motion on how the court has no jurisdiction over you. You're gonna give me your motion on how all of this stuff, right? And have that in by the end of the day on April.
Your Honor, what I don't think that is my job to prove jurisdiction.
It is your job. It is your job.
It's the assertor's job to prove that whoever's asserting the claim, it's their job, Your Honor.
No, it's your job, sir. You're saying that the court has no jurisdiction over you.
No. What I'm saying is that the court has to prove jurisdiction. That's what I'm saying. That's different. So, and what I'm saying is that the court needs to.
Key misunderstanding. Jurisdiction isn't a magic word you say to make a case disappear. Jurisdiction means the court has legal authority over the subject matter and the person. If you're charged with a state traffic offense in a state court within that state's geographic boundaries, subject matter and personal jurisdiction are generally state judge references a signed complaint. That's procedural grounding. A properly filed complaint invokes the court's authority. From there, the burden shifts. If you claim the court lacks jurisdiction, you must articulate why under existing law. Not YouTube law. Not I read somewhere law. Actual statutes and
On the line?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, so, he's gonna say that you have to prove jurisdiction.
And the jurisdiction is codified in the state of Michigan. So if he's arguing otherwise, that's his beliefs. And at trial, I will be stating the facts of the complaint. And, there's, it's his assertions does not mean that they're correct, Your Honor.
Right.
Do I have the right to know the charges that are waged against me?
The judge already gave you the charges.
The charges that are waged against you. This is arraignment. Let's go through that right now. Let's go through that right now so we don't get this, so we don't hear this issue.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll do that right now.
The judge does something important. He educates. He connects constitutional authority to practical regulation. Under the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution, states maintain police powers, authority to regulate for health, safety, and welfare. Traffic laws fall squarely within that. Licensing requirements, enforcement mechanisms, or traffic control, roadways would become chaos. The state's authority to require a license isn't about oppression. It's about regulation of a privilege tied to public arguments often hinge on the phrase, no injured party. But regulatory offenses don't require injury. Speeding doesn't need a crash to be unlawful. Driving unlicensed doesn't require harm to be chargeable. The violation is the act.
On the record now, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. William Glenn, House Counsel on behalf of Mr. Gray, or standby attorney on behalf of Mr. Gray.
All right. What about the warrant, sir? What are we gonna do with that?
Your Honor, we would ask that the court set aside the warrants.
All right. The court will set aside the warrant. The court will enter a not guilty plea on his behalf, and the court will issue a $0 personal.
I don't have enough information to enter a plea. And that's one of my abilities is for me to know and me to understand and be able to make an informed plea. And I need more information.
Your Honor.
Plea for me, and I don't understand. So right now, I object, Your Honor.
My client stands mute to the charges. That means he doesn't say guilty or not guilty.
All right.
There's a subtle shift here. Mr. tries to reposition the burden, insisting the prosecutor must put jurisdiction on the record. But the judge already explained that a signed complaint invokes jurisdiction. Under Michigan court rules, district courts have authority. Is where sovereign litigants often stall. They demand proof of things that are already established by statute. When the judge says, it's your job, he's not being dismissive. He's applying procedural logic. If you assert a defect, you must articulate it with specificity. Otherwise, proceedings see notice. The judge even allows him to file motions properly. He's giving him due process. But due